how to plan an implant placement for a tooth-supported implant case in 3Shape Implant Studio. Before this step in the workflow, you have already imported scans and designed the anatomy of the tooth. Please see the previous videos in this series, Tooth-Supported Implant Planning, for more information. In the implant planning step, you start out by choosing which tooth you will be working on first. To add the implant you want to use, click on the green plus icon and select an implant system from the list. Choose the implant and double-click on the desired dimensions of the implant to add it. If you want to place multiple implants, select another tooth in the indication window and click on the green plus again to add an additional implant. The implant will automatically position itself relative to the virtual crown, which was positioned earlier. In case you have not designed a virtual crown, you can also insert the implant manually. For resetting the implant positions, simply click on the green arrow icon and choose Reset Manually. Center the axis in the panoramic view on the crown. Point the insertion direction of the implant start with the occlusal side, followed by the apical side. To enlarge the cross-section window, press E or Maximize. You can also open up a 4-grid viewing mode if you prefer. Start to adjust the implant position by using the control points. You can pivot or tilt. Move it with the cursor of the mouse. You can press and hold the control button to restrict your movements vertically and horizontally to make the implant placement with high accuracy. To check the bone around the implant, you can rotate around the implant axis in both 2D cross-sections by pressing Ctrl and scrolling the mouse wheel. The Bone Density Visualization tool further helps you choose the right implant position by displaying the bone density at the implant surface. Move the slider on your right to activate the Bone Density Visualization. The coloring represents the bone density according to the Misch scale. D1 represents the highest density, marked in gray, and D4 represents the lowest density, marked in yellow. The graph next to the implant represents the average values on the implant circumference. Click on Disable Implant Aligned Plane to disable implant centering to the central axis to see it from the patient perspective. Click Enable Implant Aligned Plane to return to an implant aligned view. Then press and hold the control button and scroll the mouse wheel in all 2D views to move along the CT scan to review the placement. You can also press the Enable Clipping Plane to create a cut of the scan in 3D scenery. This allows you to look inside the bone structure and review the correlation between the sleeve and the adjacent teeth. You can use the red control points to rotate the implant along its own axis, if it needs to be rotated differently, if you want to place an implant at a certain angle. You also have 3 types of measurements in the cross sections. To demonstrate these, we have previously added 2 additional implants. We will now switch to the tooth 36. By clicking on the ruler, you can insert any distance measurement. Click the Insert Density Measurement icon to see the bone density in Hounsfield units. Moving the cursor on the scan will show you bone density. You can also measure the angle between the implants by clicking Insert Angle Measurement. Place 2 points on the top and bottom of each implant, and the angle between them will be measured. To remove any measurement, click on the Bin icon. You can set a safety zone for each implant to prevent you from penetrating the nerve. This zone can be adjusted by the user. The safety zone border is the green line around the implant. If the implant is positioned too close to a nerve or neighboring implant, it will turn red. You can also insert automatic measurements. Right-click the 3D screen, select the measuring tape, and choose Enable Active Implant to Nerve Distance or Enable Active Implant to Jaw Distance options. You can also measure angle and distance between the implants automatically. If you have selected an implant and you want a different length, use the green control point in the 2D or 3D view and pull it down to change the implant length. In case you need to position implants parallel, they can be grouped and positioned parallel to a selected implant. Click Group Implants Together and select the implants you would like to group. To align chosen implants to one of them, please mark it with the green arrow and click on Group Implants. You can change the visibility of the objects by adjusting the visibility sliders. We have a few pre-defined options of CT visibility. This can be modified by the user. You can change the visibility of separate elements of the CT scan by using more advanced CT visibility sliders. To reset the slider's positions, click the orange arrow. Once you are happy with the way the implants have been positioned, you can proceed to the surgical guide step by clicking Next. You have now learned how to plan an implant treatment in 3Shape's Implant Studio.